Well, hi, you're here at a podcast with two black guys. We're glad you're here.
Hello, hello, hello. What is happening? Kaiju monster fans, giant monkey fans, giant lizard fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I am D-WIZZLE, and this is another edition of MONSTERVERSE in Review, where we'll be reviewing every movie in the Warner Brothers and legendary Kaiju Monster Cinematic Universe, starring Godzilla and King Kong. We've already talked about the previous three installments of this MonsterVerse: Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. So if you guys haven't checked those out, I'll leave a link in the description below to a playlist on my channel called MonsterVerse in Review. You can check out our thoughts on the previous three films. But today's the day. Finally gonna be talking about it. The fourth installment of the MonsterVerse, Godzilla versus Kong. And joining with me today, I have Kaiju Monster enthusiast Nick Folson.
How we going, everybody? How are we doing?
Super jazzed to talk about this, man. Yes, finally talking about it. I know it's a little bit of a wait. I know everyone got the reviews out there. Sorry for the wait, man. I had to wait for this man's schedule.
Well, sorry for being busy. God.
Yeah, because I saw the day it came out, and he wasn't able to see it until Friday, and his schedule is like really busy, so had to figure out how our schedule will meet and stuff. But yeah, well, finally we are here talking about this dang movie, so let's get into it. So before we begin, I guess we got to address a spoiler warning, because the movie's been out for a week or so. So if you guys haven't seen Godzilla versus Kong by now, I suggest you guys go to the theater and watch it, or you can watch it at home and HBO Max and watch it, because we'll be talking about every little detail about this movie. So you have been warned.
Okay, well, here we go. We'll be nice. Here's non-spoiler. We both like it. Go watch it. Spoiler, now it's spoilers. There we go.
Yeah, yeah. So if you want the the truncated review, we enjoyed it. You guys should go see it. We recommend it. It's a fun time. But anyway, now to go into details. so so yeah, we both been really enjoying the MonsterVerse up to this point. We enjoy Godzilla. We really liked Kong, and we loved Godzilla King of the Monsters. I know we know we're in the minority when it comes to King of the Monsters, but we thought that that's the best of the MonsterVerse so far. So we're jazzed to see more from this franchise. So the next one that they were announcing is that Kong and Godzilla are going to square off on the big screen once again. And I was very excited ever since that end credit scene in Kong Skull Island, setting up all the kaiju monsters that we're going to see, and then teasing the battle between Kong and Godzilla. You had little teases in King of the Monsters, but just slightly. But ever since they announced it, I was very jazzed. Like, this is something I've been waiting to see in this MonsterVerse. Ever since back in the old days when the original King Kong versus Godzilla movie came out, which I personally think is really cheesy and really silly and ridiculous. But you know what? I had fun with it. I had a good time with it. So I've been wanting to see a modernized version of Kong and Godzilla fighting. Um, so the director they had for this movie is Adam Wingard, and this is the first time where I was like starting to get a little worried, because I'm actually familiar with some of Adam Wingard's movies, unlike the oh, actually, I did see Michael Dougherty's films because Krampus and Trick or Treat, but like Adam Wingard, I'm very familiar with his stuff. For those of you who don't know, he directed The Guest, the VHS movies, Blair Witch 2016, and Netflix live action Death Note movie. That was not a great track record on my account. So I was very apprehensive when I heard that he's the one that's going to be helming Godzilla versus Kong. Um, but hoping for the best, because the previous three directors come from really indie backgrounds and they brought something really good to the franchise. So maybe Adam brought something special to this. We'll have to see. Um, so this movie was supposed to come out in 2020, a year after Godzilla King of the Monsters, because that came out in 2019. But then the pandemic happened.
Jesus, that was 2019.
Yeah,
Oh
2019.
my God, it doesn't. Oh my God, it feels like ages ago.
Yeah, I know. It's like
Ooh.
time is flying. Like we're getting old and decrepit by the second. Oh boy. But yeah, so it was supposed to come out in 2020, but then the pandemic happened and then it ended up getting pushed back. And then that's when they decided they're going to have this simultaneously be released in theaters and on HBO Max, along with all the other 2021 movies that got pushed back or was scheduled to be released in that year anyway. Kind of bummed out about that because I saw all the MonsterVerse movies in theaters, and I think that's like the best way to see these movies because it's such a, just an awesome, cinematic, crowd-pleasing movies. Like it's these movies you have to see in theaters. So sadly, this was the first of the MonsterVerse movies that I was not able to see in theaters. I actually tried to, but the movies kept getting sold out. So there wasn't a way for me to see it in theaters. I'm going to keep trying, but I was disappointed that my first viewing wasn't in theaters. But yeah, so either way, I was really excited for it. The trailers looked really exciting. It looked insane. Pretty much showing that it's going to give us, give us what it's advertised for: Kong and Godzilla fighting and stuff like that. It looked really exciting, and there's a certain major Easter egg in this movie that people kept talking about, which I will save that for later. That's a big staple of the Toho kaiju monster stuff that people were talking about that's going to be in this movie, and I was like, I didn't want to hear it. I just want to wait to see the movie. I don't want any surprises. I just want to experience watching it for the first time. But either way, very jazzed. So watching it at home on HBO Max, what did I think about Godzilla versus Kong? I really liked it. I had a good time with it. Um, did I love it? No, I didn't. I don't think, and is this the best of the MonsterVerse? I can't say that. Um, I'll say, like, with the previous three movies, you know, we were able to overlook some of the plot stuff and people complain about the humans a lot, but we were able to overlook this stuff. It didn't take away from our enjoyment from the previous three movies, but with Godzilla versus Kong, something felt a bit off. Like, it's the first time where I noticed, like, there's some contrived things about this movie plot wise, and it felt like stuff was missing. I don't know. Um, but I will say, when it comes to the Godzilla and Kong stuff, it's amazing. I loved every time Kong and Godzilla were on screen. I had a blast. It's some of my favorite fights of the MonsterVerse so far, and the world building overall in this movie, I argue, is the best we've seen from the MonsterVerse. But I don't know. There's some things that's keeping it from me saying that, oh, this is the best of the MonsterVerse, or this is my favorite. I had some problem with it, but I did have a good time with Godzilla vs. Kong. But Nick, we actually didn't talk about this movie before we started recording, so I'm getting your actual thoughts about it for the first time here. So please tell me and the viewers, what did you think about Godzilla versus Kong?
Okay, so like I said, I'm in New York right now. We have open theaters back up here. Literally, I wouldn't even say day one, I got tickets, and this is an I actually got tickets for this movie in IMAX because I wanted to see this on the biggest screen possible because it is deserving of that. And now, Mike, this movie is now going to even hold more of a special place in my heart outside just being a Godzilla movie. This was the first movie that I've seen in a theater, pretty much. I wouldn't even say post pandemic, but this is the first movie I've seen in a theater. I actually started to cry in the theater because I was just in a theater with a bowl of popcorn and a drink in my hand. I was in a movie theater, and oh, it felt so good. Felt so good, and there were a lot of safety precautions, which I did like. I did like so.
It's good.
Definitely, if theaters are open, please go support them. Like, please go support them. Be safe if you're going to do that. They are doing what they can to be safe for this time being. But getting it out of the way because that was a great experience. But I really liked this movie. I really, really liked this movie. I am so it is teetering on the edge of being like my favorite of the Monsterverse. It is honestly really teetering on the edge because I've been rewatching King of the Monsters, and some issues have been popping up that I've kind of been like, that's a little but I really liked this movie. I feel this is, I think, some of the best we've gotten out of the Monsterverse, both choreography fights wise and just how this Monsterverse has come. And it's kind of a weird thing to think about this Monsterverse, how we started super grounded in reality with Godzilla, with 2014 Godzilla. And now look where we are for Kong, Godzilla versus Kong, how it plays out. It is, I think, as most reviews say, this is very much like a Saturday morning cartoon, like a classic Showa movie, which I guess makes sense because, if this got delayed even further, thank God it didn't, and it came out like 2022, it would have been like the 50th anniversary of King Kong versus Godzilla, which would have been, perfect timing, but
Why didn't
I
they think
think
of
we're
that?
all glad. I think, yeah, thank God they didn't do that. But I'm glad we came up. But also, something I want to talk about is the reactions to the trailer when the trailer first dropped. And I think Dwayne will agree to this too. Seeing all the big like reaction channels reacting to this and people losing their minds about this, it goes like, holy shit, people are actually getting hype over a giant monster movie. People are getting hype over a Godzilla movie. That was so like weird for a time being. People just going like, holy shit, Godzilla is fighting King Kong again. And it was just,
Yeah, especially people that weren't big fans of the MonsterVerse up to this point. They saw the trailer for Godzilla vs Kong and was like, "That looks sick, man. That looks awesome."
but yeah, it's I very much enjoyed it. I very, very much enjoyed it.
Okay, so um, before I get to the stuff that I thought was kind of weird, I go and list off all the stuff that I really liked about it because there is a lot of things I liked about it. Um, well, as we always do, let's start off with the cinematography and score and everything. Um, I will say I am really impressed by Adam Wingard's direction for this film. It is very unique from the previous three movies. Like the way he, just his overall direction, how he uses the cameras, how he shows off the monsters, all the sci-fi elements in this movie. So creative and so dynamic and so interesting, especially when it came to the fights. He even found more creative ways to show off the fights between the monsters, stuff that we haven't seen from the previous three movies, like just how he shows off like a point of view angles from the monsters, and like just it's just so cool and so zany. I haven't seen this much creativity since like Kong Skull Island, but I felt like he brought it up to another level with this movie. And I didn't expect much from Wingard, as I said, because I was impressed by his previous work, but like he really got creative with the direction of this movie, and then the cinematography. Oh my god, this is what we always say about these MonsterVerse movies. The cinematography is amazing, but in this one, like even more so. The colors pop out a lot. The effects are pretty much seamless in this movie. I argue this is the best effects of the MonsterVerse, man. Like I'm just literally watching this, and like on HBO Max, it was all in 4K glory, and it just every shot of this movie, perfect, awesome. Desktop wallpaper, as we always say. It just amazing to amazing to look at. Um, and then yeah, just overall the designs of the creatures. We'll talk more about the creatures later, but like yeah, I thought that just all the creativity with the monsters and them focusing when we get to the Hollow Earth stuff. I thought all that was really creative how they did it. What did you think about the overall cinematography and stuff in this movie?
Oh god, this is actually really gorgeous. And this is a gorgeous, gorgeous movie. Just like with King of the Monsters. The Hollow Earth stuff was breathtaking. I was like, wow, this is because I was like kept mentioning the Hollow Earth in King of the Monsters, and you're wondering how the hell does the Hollow Earth look? And it looks gorgeous. Honestly, I was getting mad Journey to the Center of the Earth and Land of the Lost, like the Herculoids vibes. So I was like, this feels very Hanna-Barbera-esque, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And also, Dwayne, can we be proud for one moment?
Hmm.
They fight in the day.
Yes.
They fight in the
Yes.
day. And if they fight at night, it's lit. We can see them.
Yes.
Holy fucking Hallelujah.
Oh my God. It took four. Well, there was daylight fights in Kong, but like in this one, like there's equal amount of daytime fights and nighttime fights. And yeah, as you said, even the nighttime fights, it just is so vibrant and colorful, and you see everything that's happening. Like, oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, but yeah, so and then the score, I actually really like the score. Junkie XL did the score for this movie as well. It had
Oh,
like
he
a
did, didn't he?
so yeah, he's been putting in work between this and Zack Snyder's Justice League. So good on him, man. But yeah, the score for this one had a more techno synthy type of vibe for this movie, though it fit with the tone of the film. Um, and then
I
oh, you disagree? You disagree?
So you know me, I like some good synth. You know me, I love some good synth and techno.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that when I like Junkie XL, I like some of his stuff, but
Mhm.
I didn't think it fit for this movie. I think we should have got Bear McCreary back to do the music for this. I don't know. I felt it was lacking some chutzpah. Like there were some moments I was like, okay, that's good, but there are other moments I was like, that could have done better. That could have been, but I don't know. I feel little a little limpid about the score.
Okay, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, because like even though I did like it, I did miss that Godzilla theme that we got from the previous movie, and I even like some of Kong's music in Skull Island as well, and I was kind of missing that too. But I didn't have a problem with it personally. It still had a good vibe for the film in my opinion. I guess yeah, we can move on to the humans. We start with the humans. Um, in this one, I felt like they did a better job focusing on the human stuff because, like in the previous movies, I felt like there were so many of them, and it was hard for us to, to keep focus on every single one of them. So I like that they trimmed down the humans a lot. Like we mainly focus on like six of them. Three of them is mainly with the Kong stuff. Three of them is for the Godzilla stuff. So I like that, we trimmed it down a lot. It didn't feel like people were lost in the shuffle. Um, and also another thing that I liked, one of the things that I was one of my critiques about the last movie is that I wish they just went in more with having a villain, a human villain in the movie because I felt like they didn't utilize it as well in King of the Monsters. They should just went in for it. In this movie, there is a mustache twirling villain, and I was all in on it. I might say his name wrong. Damien Damien Bashir as Walter Simmons, and Shun or Oguri as Ren Sarazawa. So yeah, I really liked them. Um, yeah, they were mustache twirling. Did they have a lot of layers? No, but once again, like I wasn't really expecting that because like the tone we're establishing for this MonsterVerse is over the top. It's for the monsters, so it's like I feel like just to enhance the camp factor of these movies, it'd just be cool to have a villain and help us to get with the conflict better with these monster movies. So I thought they were pretty solid. Um, One thing though, which I guess we'll talk about later when I have to talk about some of the issues that I have with it. Ren Sarazawa is the son of the son of Ken Watanabe's character, and they don't address that at all.
Oh
But
yeah, I was literally about to say that too. You can't just drop the son of Dr. Sarazawa is now a villain. You can't just go brush that under the rug. We're gonna be like, I literally was like,
right, it's just like what are we doing here? Like, but yeah. So, but I'll save that for the the critiques that I have for it. But anyway, I thought those were good. They were good. Um, Alexander Skarsgård as Nathan Lind. I thought he was pretty good. Along with Rebecca Hall as Eileen Andrews. Think these two probably like probably the best of the humans in my opinion. Along with I actually did like Brian Tyree Henry as Bernie Hayes too. So I think those three as the main adult humans, I thought they were really good. With Nathan Lynn's character, I felt like that's one of those things where I felt like there should have also been more with him because we literally just start with him as a scientist in a some sort of a rut. He's at his house and it's a mess, and he has all these like papers and stuff everywhere. He has a shade, and it's like he's you know trying to figure out this like theory about Hollow Earth. So I felt like there was some backstory with him that they could have fleshed out more, but I still thought he was pretty good in the movie though. Rebecca Hall, I really liked as well. Um, yeah, I think the only other thing I've seen her in was Iron Man 3, which I didn't really like, but but I thought she was pretty good in this too, as one of the scientists that is watching over Kong with the whole facility in Skull Island and stuff like that. And then she's also raising the little girl.
yeah, Katie Hodel as Gia.
Yes. Now I thought she was the MVP of this movie. I
Mm-hmm.
really really liked her. She's also mute in real life, so I
Being deaf, darling. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Good.
y'all knew I was gonna mess up at least one time in these reviews. Y- y'all know it. Y'all knew it. But anyway, yeah, I'm just a mess, aren't I? But she's actually deaf in real life, the actress. So I like that they took a chance with having a deaf character be the main one of the main parts of the movie, and she's also the only person to communicate with Kong throughout the film, teaching him sign language, stuff like that. And so I thought that was really interesting, and I like that they had that element to Kong because he is a giant ape, and they learn sign language as well. So I'm glad they finally utilized that in the movie. Um, but yeah, I just found their whole dynamic interesting. Some of the best parts of the film. Um, And then we get to Millie Bobby Brown, who is returning from Kong Skull Eye. I mean, Godzilla
Yeah, he got a
King
twofer. He got a
2.
twofer, ladies and gentlemen. We're on two. We're on two. Will we get three? Will we get three? Stay tuned. You may find out.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown from Godzilla King of the Monsters comes back, and I thought she was pretty good too. Um, and Kyle Chandler too is returns in this movie. I wish he had more to do because he was only in like a couple of scenes, and that's it. So I don't know. I didn't really feel like he needed to be there, other than the fact that he's Millie Bobby Brown's dad. So that was kind of disappointing because he was a main factor of King of the Monsters. Um, but yeah, with Millie Bobby Brown's character, I really liked her. I liked I kind of liked the banter between her and Julian Dennison, who was from Deadpool 2. And
Oh my god, that was Russell, wasn't it?
yeah,
Oh, he's going so. Oh, he's gotten so old now.
yeah. Time flies. When was Deadpool 2? Like 2018?
I think so.
Like, geez. But yeah, I did kind of like their banter back and forth. Though I will say I wasn't a huge fan of Dennison's character in this. I don't know, he didn't really do it for me. He was kind of annoying. Um, just the weird sidekick to Millie Bobby Brown. Just yeah, didn't really do it for me. Um, there was Brian Tyree Henry. I really liked him. I actually thought he was funny. This whole conspiracy theory radio podcast that he has, I thought that was interesting as well. And he does have some really good. He has some pretty good chemistry between him and Millie Bobby Brown and Dennison. So I thought that was nice. Um, there was some weird ticks that he had, and he was super hyper and stuff. Though I found some of that stuff kind of funny in my opinion. What you think about any humans that stood out to you?
So the Seaman cast, they were all right. They did they got to they carried the plot. Like, we know why we're here, but they were still pretty good. I will agree with you that Gia was the MVP of this entire movie,
Hmm.
and true props for pretty much having an actual deaf person pretty much carry this entire, your multi-million-dollar movie. That's true props.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would say, I do say that just Lind, I didn't really feel that much of a connection for him. Like, he was there, and I could tell that really he was there this to be serviceable, but really the story was mostly focused on Dr. Andrews and Gia. They were really the two main focuses, like, human wise.
Hmm.
But I'm always happy to see Brian Tyree Henry get work because he's a fantastic actor, and plus we are going to see him literally later in Eternals, and I'm
Wait,
excited to see.
he's in
He's in
Eternals?
Eternals. Yep, he's in Eternals.
Oh, all right then.
Oh yeah, he's getting work, which makes me happy. But he's always great, and Millie Bobby Brown, she's just thriving. I think this is her year. Has been her, like, her last year was her year with this, and Enola Holmes was pretty good too. She's
Hmm.
been doing really good, and whenever the hell Stranger Things season 4, I believe we're on
Season
season
4.
4.
Yeah.
Whenever that comes out, she's gonna probably blow us out the water with that.
Yeah.
But this was a pretty good cast. I like that they kept it small. I really like that they kept it small because that was a thing with the Toho movies. They didn't always have a large ensemble. They did usually keep a pretty small group of characters. Like, I can know, especially in the Heisei era, there were mostly, like, what, four main characters that we stuck around throughout the whole series. So I really liked that they kept it small so we can easily attach ourselves to those characters. So these were pretty good. They weren't amazing, but they were good for the plot.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, All right. Well, let's talk about the monsters. Let's talk about the monsters. Let us start with Kong. Kong. I love Kong. I love him so much. He was so great in this movie. I felt like he was the heart of the film.
Oh yeah, I think everyone will agree that he was the main protagonist for this movie.
And I was really wondering how they were going to divide the time between Kong and Godzilla. Like, is it going to feel equal, or is it going to feel like a Godzilla movie featuring Kong, or is it going to feel like a Kong movie featuring Godzilla? Um, I actually did like their approach of making Kong the heart, because like it did feel like Kong has more of a connection with the humans than Godzilla. So it was interesting to see from his point of view, and then also, his interaction with Gia. So it really helped us to really care about what's going on. Even though we do care for Godzilla as well, but it's just as far as his human connection, it's not as tight as the stuff with Kong and the humans. So I did really like that approach, and the Kong beard. I like the Kong beard a lot. Very nice. Um, and it pretty much was keeping with the aesthetic from Skull Island. So I really liked his look in this movie. Um, and then we get to Godzilla. Oh, Godzilla. I really liked him. There was a couple of things that was kind of bothering me with Godzilla, but for the most part, I thought he was really good as well. Once again, keeping with the aesthetic of King of the Monsters, because they changed his scales and stuff like that in King of the Monsters to make it look more like the traditional and the blue and stuff. So I did like that. He was a savage in this movie, like a straight up savage. Um, like he just did not give any craps between definitely Kong and even some of the humans as well. Like with the humans, it's like he was indifferent with the humans. Like whenever they try to attack him, he just doesn't care. It's like, okay, whatever, these humans just being dumb. But in this one, he's just like, fuck these humans, get out of my way, pow pow pow. I'm just like, Jesus, Kong. So he turned heel in this movie. But yeah, very, very interesting, their approach with him. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Kong Godzilla?
So I'm going to talk about Godzilla first.
Okay.
I fucking loved Godzilla in this movie.
Okay.
I fucking love it. I will be the minority. I don't like Godzilla as a good guy.
Really?
I don't like my boy as a good guy. He is the god of destruction. He don't give a fuck about your shit. You made him a monster and he don't like you. I like it when Godzilla is an antagonist or a villain. I think he nails that, and I'm so glad we got that, just an antagonistic live action Godzilla just wrecking shit and not giving a fuck about anything. And oh, so good, because I was already Team Godzilla, but even before this, so oh, actually, I have a napkin. I was very pleasantly
Yeah.
satisfied.
Yeah. I was Team Kong, and yeah, he didn't. No.
Oh yeah, that's oh no, yeah, don't worry, we're gonna get to that, honey. We're gonna get to that. Don't even try to
Yeah.
run away from that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I did also like what they did with Kong,
Mhm.
and that he was the heart of the story. That we got more focused, because timeline wise, this is Kong's most recent appearance. Because remember, Skull Island was in the Vietnam War, so we didn't know what the hell he was doing all this time. But now we know Monarch was hiding him from Godzilla, because Godzilla was looking for blood.
Yeah.
So they were like, "We need to get Kong safe away, or else Godzilla is going to literally kill him." And it was really nice to see Kong, especially. I don't know if I was in the minority, but when Kong started to sign, I later was like, "Oh, that's good," because that didn't really happen in any other Kong movie. They didn't do that,
Yeah.
but that was just
Yeah.
really that. I was touched. I
Yeah.
was touched,
Very
but
nice.
one thing I thought was really good cool that they did, and we can do now with the avenue of technology. We saw up close, we saw tight close-ups on their faces, like with their faces, especially, and we saw Godzilla smile. That smile is in my nightmares. Oh, that was good.
Oh, yeah, that took me off guard when he
And
started smiling. I'm
like,
like,
oh,
what?
oh,
But yeah, for sure, like when they can get extreme close-ups, and one thing we really liked is how much detail they put in these monsters. You see every pore, you see every scar, you see every little thing there. So it's added on top of this. So I like that as well. Even like when when they're interacting with the humans, like when Kong's in the rain and he puts his finger up to Gia, and it's like, oh my god, you just see how massive he is. Like, as in Skull Island, he was a baby, but now in this one, he's freaking gigantic. Like, oh my goodness, like yeah, almost the same height as Godzilla. So it's amazing just to see how much scale he did. So
I will absolutely talk about that because my God, they looked gorgeous. Just the how far we've come with technology wise, like comparing 2014 to now, just the level of detail that's on them is amazing. Like the how up close, and plus how up close we got. They really flaunted this. They didn't hide this away. They showed put this out and showed it. Like with Kong with his fur just covered with snow and ice when he's in Antarctica.
yeah.
That was beautiful. That was gorgeous. Oh my god, like just how far CGI has come.
Hmm.
Where the hell are we gonna be 5 years from now or 3 years? That's just wild.
Oh yeah, like jeez. Hopefully, this MonsterVerse will continue, and we'll see even more awesome designs and details. It did really well in China, and like here, the domestic box office is looking pretty good. People are starting to go back to the theaters and go see this, so it's looking pretty good for MonsterVerse, hopefully. But yeah, definitely like the detail. And then even like there's other creatures that appear in this movie as well. There's the war bat, which is that snake thing with the wings and stuff
So
like that.
that's what its name is.
Yeah,
I was wondering because I was like, this thing is wild, and also was I am probably the only person because who remembers this movie because I'm weird like that. Did anyone else think that the Warbat looked like Baraki from Dragon Wars? Did
you know what?
anyone else? Because
I can
literally
see
that
that.
was the only thing I thought of when I saw him. I was like, this thing reminds me of Baraki from Dragon Wars. Does anyone else? Oh God, does anyone else remember that movie? Put that in the comics. You remember Dragon Wars? That was my jam. Like in the past, I had that on DVD.
Me too. Me too. I just literally saw that on the shelf and was like, I want to watch that, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's a nice comparison there. I didn't even think about that. And then there's also the Hell Hawk. Is that like ugly looking bird
Oh, the
thing?
bird bat. I called it a bird bat.
Oh, you call it the bird back.
I
Yeah,
call it a bird because it was literally a bird's head on a bat, and I was like, oh, that's nasty. I like it.
yeah, it's horrifying, man. Like I like that a lot. And then there's like some crab turtle monsters and like a giant, like a big reptile thing that ate one of them that looked kind of like Anguirus, but it's not. I want Anguirus, man.
Dwayne, you're gonna be in luck because apparently Godzilla Singular Point is out. The newest Godzilla anime is out. I don't know where the hell are people watching, but like the first 2 episodes are out. Oh, he's in there, and Gears is there.
Okay, well I'm gonna watch it. I am going to watch that. Okay, but yeah, they have that, and I think okay. I know there's one that we haven't talked about yet.
We also got the Skull Crawlers came back.
Yes, there's a skull crawler, and there was a slightly different design on his. He had a little more red on his head and on his back, and so I thought that was cool that they brought back the skull crawlers. Though I thought they all died though. So
I don't think they all died. I think just like a few died. I don't think they wiped them all out.
okay.
Or maybe it's in the comics, which are canon to this universe
All right.
that I have not touched. But Luckily, we have the lovely people at Wikizilla to help us for that. Please subscribe to them. I like Wikizilla.
Yeah, I look at Wikizilla as well. It did also look like they're like creating skull crawlers because they had them in like those little egg things. So maybe they just created more. I'm not sure.
Which I've seen those things in person, those actual props.
Oh, really?
I actually saw them because there's a Tamashi Nations pop-up store currently here in New York. And I went like on the very first day and they had those things and Gia's costume in like the store. And I was wondering, like, what are those things in the movie? And I saw them, I was like, oh, that's what they are, those cheeky bastards. Oh, but yeah, it was just the amount of new monsters we got in this. While not like as big as King of the Monsters, it was still nice. It's always nice to see some more monsters in the monsters. Just some more monsters to add to the list. Even though even though I do agree that little reptile dog thing that could have been Anguirus. You could throw him in there.
But yeah, why
You
not?
could throw him in. Or hell, make it Camoebus or fucking Ganymus or Baragon. You could have put Baragon in there. Who get like what is it? What does Baragon do? What is Toho doing with Baragon? Is he in Singular Point? What was his last movie? GMK? He isn't doing anything. Put Baragon in there for God's sakes.
Right. And with them establishing the whole Hollow Earth thing, like it could that could be where all the other Toho monsters could be if they end up using more of them. So yeah, just put them in there, man. Even though I do like that they're creating original monsters because the original monster designs are really cool. I just want to see more of the Toho monsters, because after the Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah stuff, it's just like, and they look so great. And I was like, yeah, give us more of that too, man. And then speaking of original Toho monsters,
I got a helmet. I need to build this up.
you need to build it
I
up.
need to build
You
this
need to
up.
build it up. Okay.
So we have Josh, Madison, and Bernie. They arrived and Bernie saw an eye when Godzilla first attacked Pensacola, Florida. And we're all wondering, what's the eye for? Well, what's the eye for? And so our Godzilla trio ends up being pretty much booted to Hong Kong. And they're in a giant, just pretty much a giant empty, not field, but arena. And a skull crawl shows up, and just something rises out of the ground like a monolith, and it's just wrapped up, and it looks like a hedgehog. And I'm like, what is it? What is it? And it just rises, and it hits. It starts clicking. I'm like, no, 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 no. And then it's motherfucking Mecha Godzilla. I literally squealed in the theater. I was like,
It's back to Godzilla. They did it. They did it. They pulled the trigger. They did it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. What did you think about it? You start. I want you.
what do you say? It's fucking Mecha Godzilla. It's one of pretty much now the majority, like 4 of the big 5. Wait, actually, Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, King. The big 5
Yeah, the big
are
5.
now here. Yeah, the big 5 have now come to the MONSTERVERSE. Oh my god. This Mecha God, this. I gotta say, so this Mecha Godzilla had a weird design. Like he very bug-eyed, which I can gel with. This was a powerful son of a bitch. This bitch came to play. What was my last appearance in the Godzilla movie? Oh, let's see what fucking Tokyo SOS, and he just came to play. And I like that this Mechagodzilla reminded me of of Kiryu, because first he starts being piloted by Serizawa, which that's wild as fuck. A Serizawa piloting Mechagodzilla, that was good shit right there. And then Mechagodzilla pretty much becomes its own thing, like pretty much possesses itself, and it then becomes the main threat. And that was a really cool thing. I liked it. I really like this Mechagodzilla. It's not my favorite. But this was a cool Mechagodzilla to have. Much better than the anime trilogy where it was just this fucking city. But my therapist says that I should not talk about the anime trilogy because if I want to experience what is known as joy in life, I can't talk about the anime trilogy anymore.
Fair enough. I'm kind of apprehensive to watch it now since you're like, this two thumbs down. This two thumbs down.
Oh no, you need to watch that because that's going to be you need to review those
Oh,
because
you want to review them?
oh, I'm not reviewing them. Like I said, I want to experience joy. That's all on you, honey.
I want to
Oh,
review this by myself.
oh no, too bad. You ain't got a choice. That's your thing now. You're gonna do the anime trilogy. It's 3 movies all on Netflix.
I'll put it to you like this: if I get 20 likes on this video, which it won't happen, if I get 20 likes on this video, or if anyone comments below that they want me to review the Godzilla trilogy, I will consider doing them. But I'm I'm not reviewing those by myself.
You heard that, folks.
If you comment
Put it
below,
out. Put it down. Hashtag or review the trilogy. Whoever you are, do it. Do it. Hell, I'll do it. Hell, I'll fucking do it.
oh God, you obsolete. Anyway, okay, back to Godzilla. Yes, he was awesome in this movie. So yeah, I was one of those people that knew about Mechagodzilla since the first trailer, and I was keeping my mouth shut about it. And I wasn't talking about it with anyone, because people wanted to be surprised. They didn't want to talk about anything, so it was just hard. Me holding it in that Mechagodzilla will possibly be in this movie, but now that it's out and everyone knows now, oh my God. I didn't think they would put him in this movie. I did not. I mean, was there a possibility they would make Kong and Godzilla team up at the end? Maybe. But it's like, I didn't know who they were going to fight. Like, Mechagodzilla didn't come to my mind instantly, but I'm like, you know what? I'm with it. I'm in. He's freaking sick in this movie, man.
I thought they were going to go with Mecha King Ghidorah because
yeah,
we have the disembodied Ghidorah here. I thought they were going to do that, but no. Like I heard rumors. I know we heard the rumors that it was Mecha Godzilla, but I don't take I take internet rumors with the utmost grain of salt. So I was like, I'm not paying that any mind. So literally my reaction was genuine. I was like, oh, yes.
Yes. And as you said, he was a beast in this movie. He comes in and wrecks house instantly. They made him so powerful, and I was so happy about that. I really liked that. We'll get more to the fight when we talk about the Godzilla and Kong, when we talk about all that. But it's like, yeah, I really liked how they utilized him in this movie. His design though, I did not love his design. It's fine. It's okay, but yeah, this is the first design of the MonsterVerse that I'm not loving. He looks like a Bionicle. Like he looks like a Lego playset. Like, I'm sorry. Like it did not fully work for me. Like I don't know, man. Like that's not really what I picture when it comes to Mechagodzilla. But like I said, he doesn't look bad. It's just like, yeah, he just looks so blocky, and his spikes are so blocky, and it's like his head looks so blocky, and his eyes are really big. I'm like, I don't know. There's some shots where he looks good. But then there's some shots where he looks like a toy. And like, I guess that's the idea because they want to sell toys for this movie. So good on you. But I don't know.
I think one thing I would have changed is the claws, his big metal.
Yeah, it's like he
claw.
just
That's one things I would have changed. Make him just have regular, like either the classic, just blade hands, or maybe just give him claws. But I would have changed the crab hands.
Yeah, like that was also a weird thing. They just give him crab hands. I was like, what is this? It I think I think I have a feeling that if they continue the MonsterVerse, they're gonna bring him back and he's gonna evolve because there's Mecha Godzilla 2, so he probably might have a different design, or if they decide to do Kiryu, like I mean, so I don't think they'll stick with it. But we'll see. But if this is the first design and he evolves from this, I'm all right with it. But if this is just if this is the main design we're going for, I don't know. You gotta adjust some things, so whatever. But other than that, I thought he was a badass in this movie. I loved Mechagodzilla. All right, let's talk about these fights, man. Let's talk about these fights.
You mean the fight? What, a 4 round fight?
Pretty much, we gotta build this up though. So the first fight was in the middle of the ocean on the ship carriers, and I'm like, this is insane. Like they're fighting on top of these ships. They're hopscotching on these ships. They fight underwater. It's like it's so cool. Like this was a really good startup. This is the warm up match. Like I really liked the underwater stuff, the stuff in the middle of the ocean. I thought that was really cool. And we saw in the trailer them sucker punching each other. I'm like, oh my god, this is so insane. And it's like when he knocks him into the water and Godzilla is using his atomic breath and tries to blast him up on the ship and he jumps off like some Die Hard shot. I'm like, freaking insane. And he tries to drown him too, and they have to he was almost about to drown Kong, and like the humans had to shoot missiles to save him. And it's like they ain't playing around in this movie. Like, Jesus Christ, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. So yeah, round one goes to Kong because he beat him there. Round two is when they go to Hollow Earth. Kong and the humans, they go to Hollow Earth, and then Kong is like, "You can't hide from me." He blasts his atomic breath through the Earth in the center.
Hey Dwayne.
Huh?
Hey Dwayne.
Yeah.
Kong blasted him down to Hollow Earth. That's 3. There you go. I told you, ladies and gentlemen. I told you we would get 3. We got 3. Yes. Yes. Oh, I love this job. Oh, I love this job.
There you go. She got me. So Godzilla is the one that shoots the atomic breath through the Earth, through the center of the Earth, to the Hollow Earth, and is calling out Kong and is like, "Bitch, get your ass up here. We ain't finished yet." And they fight in Hong Kong in a big old neon city, and Kong has this big old axe, and it can absorb the atomic blast from Godzilla, and it has radiation as well that they use to try and power Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla. So that I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, that fight in Hong Kong, bruh. It was an all out brawl wrestling match. Like I felt like I was watching an episode of Power Rangers. This fight was so insane. They're jumping off of buildings. They're they're doing ninja moves. Kong is hiding on top of the tallest building while Godzilla is like searching for him in the city, and he's like he's throwing a crane on the side to distract Kong, and then while he's distracted, he jumps on top of Kong and rams him through a building head first. Like, what is going on? And then he grabs Godzilla's head and just knees him, and oh my
almost
God.
Does the jawbreaker move on Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
That was wild.
Oh yeah, and then also there was an homage to the old movie where in the old movie Kong shoves a tree down Godzilla's throat, and then he does a very similar move where he shoves the axe down Godzilla's throat. I'm just like, oh, I really like they did homages to that as well. And then yeah, they're just they're just doing flips and stuff over the city. Godzilla shoots his atomic breath, just leveling the city, and then Kong is just avoiding it, jumping on top of buildings and stuff. Like it's just freaking insanity. Like I didn't know these monsters were so agile because like in the previous movies they made them feel so massive and it's like you feel every impact and stuff. They build it up slowly, but in this one, nah, forget it. We're going full Power Rangers, as you said, Saturday morning cartoon. We're just gonna have them do jumps. We're gonna have them, do agile stuff on the buildings. Like, why not? We're not gonna have them do slow stuff. This is gonna be an all-out burly brawl wrestling match, and you know what? I was all in on it. This is really cool. This is like probably my favorite fights in the MonsterVerse, man. Like it's sanity. Okay, so there was going to be a a winner for this movie. They said for sure there was going to be a winner. I was Team Kong. Nick was Team Godzilla. And Godzilla won. Godzilla was the winner. Like
Told you he was going to win. I told you he was going to win. Told you he was going to win. Can't stop the king. Can't stop the king. What? Can't stop the king. What's king to a god? Told you. Did not.
Yeah, yes, you did. And you know what? In the back of my mind, I knew Kong was probably going to lose because, like, if you're going off of King of the Monsters, you've seen him level an entire city going nuclear. It's like, what is Kong going to do against that? But, I was rooting for the underdog, man. I was really hoping that Kong was going to get his king statue, who become King Kong and beat Godzilla. But
well, no, I like what they did. I like what they did because actually I'll save it for the end. I'll save it for the end because we're at round 4 or 3. Where are we? We're almost at the end.
Right. Well, so I liked how they ended the fight, how they solidified the winner. So Kong was like getting beat down on the ground, and like Godzilla like gets on top of him and starts scratching his chest and stuff, and then he puts his foot down on his chest, showing dominance and stuff, and then you had that, I think, this iconic shot where Godzilla gets up in his face and roars in his face, and then Kong roars back at him, and you have that shot of them just roaring at each other, like iconic movie shot that's gonna go down the ages, man. I love it. I love that shot. And then after that, Godzilla gives a slight nod, being like, "You fought valiantly, but know your place. I'm the king."
You stay there, you're trash.
And then, yeah, once again, like when he was kicking Kong's ass, Godzilla gave him that evil smile. I'm like, what is going on?
It was like Thanos and Infinity War. Oh, that for a drop of blood. Oh, it was so fucking good.
Oh, that was
fucking good.
That was absolutely glorious. Even though I was Team Kong, I could not deny that was badass. I loved that so much. So then we get to the fight with Mechagodzilla.
And then Mechagodzilla coming in with the steel chair.
Right. Like, if you thought Godzilla dominated Kong throughout that, Mechagodzilla comes in and is like, you ain't shit. It's just throws Godzilla around like a rag doll. Like, oh my God, man. It's just like...
I thought they were going to kill him. I actually got scared from him. I was like, they gonna kill my boy. They gonna kill my boy.
Sure. Like he's throwing his head through buildings. Like they do the beam struggle with their atomic breath, which I thought was insane. And he beats him in that. And then he's just throwing missiles at him. And whenever Godzilla's like trying to throw a punch and stuff, Mechagodzilla counters it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like we have a new alpha here, and it's Mechagodzilla. But then Kong, I guess, was going to die from Godzilla's wounds on his chest, just slowly dying. Whatever. That was kind of weird. But then the humans use that I hate this acronym so much.
The
The
heave.
Hollow Earth uh like automated vehicle, whatever, heave.
I was literally
Heave?
waiting for a heave ho. I was waiting for a heave ho, and they didn't give that to me in the movie. You can't call it heave and not have someone go heave ho. I was like, what the hell, movie? Come on. The joke was right there in your face. I guess they were better than me because I would have made the joke. I would have made the joke and gotten done over with. But I guess they're better than me.
Either that or dry heave. That's what I instantly saw. Like it's such a weird name, man. It's literally not like heave. Like could think of a better acronym than that. But anyway, so they use the heave to pretty much do a shock to his chest, like clear. They turn on the ship and then they rejuvenate his body, and then yeah, he goes in and helps Godzilla. They double team him. Um, and then it's mostly like Kong is getting the upper hand. He uses his axe and stuff like that. And then Godzilla using his atomic breath and like is powering up the axe, and then he's just slicing up Mecha Godzilla. And yeah, okay, yeah, the humans helped a little bit because at the facility, Apex, that's the company that the villains have. They messed with Mechagodzilla's systems because he was going to use his tail to drill right through Kong's face, and then yeah, they stopped that, and then yeah, after they power the axe, then Kong
Rip and
just
tear. It's
goes
rip
to
and
town,
tear.
slicing him up, and then Mortal Kombat fatality style, ripping Mechagodzilla's head with his spine attached, and just holding up in the air and roaring like this metal as fuck, man. Metal as fuck. I loved it. Oh, just so amazing. Like, I didn't never thought I would see this. Like Kong and Godzilla working together against Mecha Godzilla, and it's just so awesome. I am at a loss for words. Like, wow, loved it.
I cheered in the theater. I was like the only person who cheered. I cheered during that whole part, so it was fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. Yes. Um, and then I guess that's when they come to an understanding, Kong and
So
Godzilla, I
it's pretty
guess.
much you stay the fuck away from me, I'll stay the fuck away from you.
Yeah, it's like
I.
stay in your territory, man. It's like I appreciate you for helping out, but I still don't like you. I'm still the king, but you go off and do your
But what
business.
what I was saving up to say is that I liked that they made Kong king of the Hollow Earth, so he becomes King Kong, and
Hmm.
Godzilla is still king of Earth, of like the upper Earth. I really like that idea that Kong that, and if they want, and plus there's the Skull Island anime. Oh my god, I forgot that's coming out.
There's a
Jesus.
Skull Island
Yeah,
anime.
there's a King Kong anime coming on Netflix. I forget it's still coming. I think it's still 2021, or if not, it's not tied to the MonsterVerse, but I know it's coming. But they could really do a lot of side stuff with Kong, him just messing around on the Hollow Earth and whatnot. But I really like that. That still both of them technically win, but like even though Godzilla won the fight, that Kong, he still is king of the. He's now king of the Hollow Earth, so he becomes King Kong.
Yeah, so I like that as well. I like that how they generally making him the king of Hollow Earth, and I would like to see a movie with him, ruling over Hollow Earth. There'd be some really cool possibilities with that as well. Okay, so let me talk about the stuff. There's some stuff that bothered me in this movie. Let me talk about the critiques. Um, it felt like there was a lot of in between stuff with the story that
Some things probably got cut. Let's be real. It
yeah,
felt some things got cut.
yeah,
Like it did feel pretty rushed at some points. It's like I feel we missed something. Like I still say where is Ren Sarazawa's scenes? Where the hell is his stuff? Because he's kind of just a back burner, and you can't back burner a Sarazawa when Sarazawas have been really integral to this universe. You can't just put him on the back burner. It's like, what the hell?
Right. Like what's going on? I mean, I know you want to cut down the human stuff because everyone hates the humans and they don't want that much in there, but it's like Sarazawa is actually one of the really integral parts of the monster verse, you know? So it's like, why don't you develop the I mean, I get you want to cut down humans, but develop the actual interesting humans. What are we doing here? And then I'm also thinking like even if they did develop Sarazawa more, it still is kind of sucky how he gets killed at the end because of Mechagodzilla, going haywire, and King Ghidorah's brain algorithms take over the, the mech. I'm like, so it's really sucky how he just gets killed off like that. So maybe it was good that they were just like, we're not gonna mention that he's Sarazawa's son because it'll probably piss off some people. So I don't know. That was kind of odd. And then I have so many questions with Kong and the Skull Island stuff. So so Gia is the last of the Skull natives on Skull Island
Mm-hmm.
because they all got killed
Yes.
off.
Yes.
How did that when did that happen? How did that happen?
I think they said when the storm that surrounded Skull Island came, that's when the natives died and Kong had saved Gia. I
Oh, so
think
the
that's when this,
surrounding storm was
yeah,
just
that
coming into
storm.
Skull Island.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much like that storm was just like how happened in the Peter Jackson movie. Well, they didn't have that. This happened in Silent Hill, but a storm came to Skull Island because I think they said that it was kind of part of the Hollow Earth, and the Earth doesn't like the Hollow Earth, so it tried to bury it. So that's why the storm was surrounding Skull Island, and that killed the natives. And Kong saved Gia from that. So I think that's why.
okay. And then
Which I
like
guess is a way to get rid of the natives because the natives in King Kong movies have always been kind of a weird thing in Kong movies. But I
yeah,
guess that's a way to get rid of them, but
I
still have them as Gia. But
I guess. One thing I noticed in the opening credits of the movie when they're doing the data stuff with Godzilla and Kong, and they're showing all the monsters that they defeated, and I noticed that Rodan, it looked like he got defeated. Did Godzilla kill Rodan off screen?
I didn't even know. I didn't notice
like, like Louis, I'm seeing Ghidorah and all this stuff, and then Rodan, and it said defeated, defeated, defeated. I'm like, wait a minute, we're just gonna kill Rodan off screen? And you guys know, I wasn't the biggest Rodan fan up until King of the
that.
Monsters.
In his words, called the man a simp.
Yes, I I
I'm
called
still
him a
not
simp.
forgiving, but I called the man a simp for God's sake.
Well, he was kind of a simp in King of the Monsters. He had some badass moments. I'm more of a Rodan fan now because of King of the Monsters, but he was doing some simp shit in the last movie. But now I guess the simp is gonna get what he deserved because he got killed off screen. like what the hell, man? Like you're not even gonna give him a proper send off. I mean, now it could imply like maybe he didn't necessarily get killed. He probably just got defeated. So maybe he's still around, and he just was, submitting to Godzilla or whatever. Even though Mothra's the one that took down Rodan. So don't know how that works, but he bowed to Godzilla at the end, so he acknowledges Godzilla as the alpha. So maybe it's that way. But like, if you're just gonna kill him off screen, that's kind of douchey. But anyway, nitpicky thing about that. Um, how how did they create a facility around Skull Island that's already unstable from the storm? And then how is this facility able to protect Kong from Godzilla. Like, what technology are they using to be like, oh, Godzilla can't sense where Kong is because he's in this dome or whatever? And then what I want to know is how did Kong allow these humans to create a dome around him? Like, how did that happen? I mean, yes, you have Gia there to probably calm him down, but I'm like, you probably need a little bit more than that to create an entire realistic facility of Skull Island around him, and he'll be okay with that, or he won't be aware of that. Like, I just have many questions. And then how are you transporting Kong from one place to the other? Like, okay, yeah, they use some stuff, some tranquilizer or whatever, some sleeping thing to make him, to make him go to sleep or something like that. But like, how did you do that? Because do we remember in Skull Island, like it wasn't easy to take down Kong, and he's in his adolescent stage in Skull Island. He's a full out kaiju giant in this. How much tranquilizer did you use on Kong? How did you even shoot him to do that? How did you even pick him up and put him on a ship? Why does he not sink the ship that he's laying on? Like, and then if you knew Godzilla, if you knew Godzilla is a water, like his domain is the water, right? So why would you transport Kong in the ocean when Godzilla swims in the ocean constantly? So immediately he will know where Kong is. They should have transported him in helicopter the first time, instead of being like, oh, we got attacked by Godzilla. Now we're going to transport him via planes. You should have done that the first time.
Well, the
Like,
first time they did, they couldn't get Kong past TSA, It's really awkward to explain a giant monkey to TSA.
it's Monarch. Where are like the government knows what Monarch is, so they should be aware about this giant monkey being transported. But
I mean,
anyway,
they did, but they didn't believe him, remember? They were like, hey, you ain't got no giant monkey.
I bet.
Godzilla, what's a Godzilla?
Oh, living in a world where there's a giant lizard that shoots atomic breath, and a giant moth, and a giant pterodactyl, and there was a three-headed hydra from another planet that tried to take over. But no, there's no giant monkey.
There is no Warren Bossing say.
There's no more boxing. So like, I don't know. That's just stuff that I was like, but why? And then okay, one other thing. Even though we were just gushing about the fights earlier, I if I'm I can't help but think about the physics in this movie. And while I love the fights, and part of me can turn my brain off, that just enjoy it as a Power Rangers type thing, and this one of the things we didn't mention, this does feel like a complete homage to the Showa era of Godzilla, where the fights were more over the top, and the monsters were doing flips and whatever. So I feel like this movie is trying to harken back to that, which I can appreciate that. But the previous three movies didn't feel like that. They felt like giant titans that like wasn't able to be so agile, and like they were moving a little bit slower, but that's how they were able to build up how massive their impact is on the planet. So it's like, it's just really odd to see these monsters moving so fast and so agile now. And then the fact that whenever they impact on a building or whatever, like it's still standing. Like when they're on the carrier in the middle of the ocean, and both Kong and Godzilla are on top of them, on top of one, and the ship doesn't sink. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking, because of the previous movies, we see Godzilla just falling on top of buildings, and we see and all this stuff, and then it just seems kind of odd that they're just able to fight on top of a carrier. They should be sinking it, both of them, since they're both full size. And even in the fight in Tokyo, like I don't know how advanced their buildings are in, I mean, Hong Kong. Hong Kong.
More,
Hong Kong.
more.
Hong Kong. No, 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 no. Hong Kong. I meant Hong Kong. When they're fighting in Hong Kong, those buildings are very durable. They are super durable, and and like Kong and Godzilla are being thrown around like ragdolls. And yes, some of them fall over, but some of them are just standing there okay. And then they're able to just climb on top of them, jump on top of them, do hopscotch or whatever. So it just, I don't know. It's just throwing me off a little bit. Part of my brain is just throwing me off, even though I'm enjoying the fights. It's awesome. It's some of the best choreography in the MonsterVerse. It's just like I just can't help but think about that in the back of my mind. It just felt a little cartoony because like it just didn't feel like they didn't build up to that. You know, it just felt like the last movie was trying to be grounded. And the next movie, oh, we're going full sci-fi now. They even have sci-fi technology like the Heave, or have this company that's able to create a giant mech replica of Godzilla, and everything's all in neon and stuff like that. And they have a they have a base where they're able to teleport through this realm, this quantum realm. I know I'm using Marvel terms or whatever, but this is how best I can explain it. They can portal through this quantum realm like 2001: A Space Odyssey stuff through the center of the Earth, and I'm like, how did the technology get so advanced so quickly? Because this is only a couple years after King of the Monsters. So it's like, I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with us getting to this point because I knew we were going to get sci-fi at some point. But I just felt like there was just such a leap since the last movie. Like there should have been more of a gradual build up to those sci-fi elements. But that's my thing. Did any of that bother you? Did any of that, like, in the back of your mind, it's like, even though I'm loving this, I know this is like Showa era stuff, I'm loving it. What am I like off kilter on this? Am I thinking too much about
You're
it?
not. You're actually not for the first time. But no, I did think that, those Kong is pretty big. He really shouldn't be able to bounce off of battleships and carriers that easily. That did seem a little that did seem, I was like, okay, that does seem a little off for a moment.
Well,
And I will admit that the technology that the I don't know, we don't have, they never give an exact date for when this takes place in. We just assume that it takes place in at like possibly a year or two after King of the Monsters. So we don't have an exact date, but yeah, it is a little peculiar, the super leap in technology, how we've gone full anime with full mechas and pretty much international speedway tunnels that Elon Musk probably was salivating at looking at. But it
mhm.
was a little like, things have gotten pretty advanced, haven't they? In like what, a few years.
Right. If they did like maybe a significant time skip between King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong, we probably would have been it probably would have felt more natural, but I don't know. And then going back to, because there was one thing I want to talk about, like the examples of Godzilla smiling, or like even both Godzilla and Kong doing more like humanistic traits. Like, even though I was loving it, I was going crazy like when Godzilla was smiling, or they're doing like humanistic stuff like they're nodding to each other, or like when Kong comes to the fight with Mecha Godzilla, and like Godzilla has that shocked look on his face like a human. It's like, I mean, it's fun, it's cool, it's caught me off guard, but at the same time, it's like I'm cool with giving the monsters personalities, because Godzilla and Kong and all the other kaiju monsters before this, we do consider them as characters, but there's some humanistic traits that they're giving them that feels odd, like the Godzilla smiling. Like, even though I liked it, it felt odd. Like, I don't feel like, because I felt like there was a balance between them feeling like animals and them, actually feeling like sci-fi creatures. And this one of those things where it felt a bit cartoony. So it's like, I don't know. It's just really it just feels odd because like I said, the previous three movies are making it feel very grounded, but with them doing those type of human giving them those humanistic traits, it once again it's just throwing me off a little bit. Like a couple times I was expecting like and even like when I hear other people talk about this movie, like people are expecting Kong and Godzilla to kiss, like or hug it out in this movie. And like that would be too far for me. Like, I don't want to see them hug. I don't want to see them do a handshake. I definitely don't want to see them kiss. But it's like,
Oh, I've seen the fan art. Goddamn Kaiser Neko made fan art of that. I've seen it.
yeah,
Does it
my
make me laugh? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
like, yeah, even my girlfriend Shay, um, showed me a picture of them kissing or whatever when we started watching it. And I'm just like, oh my god. But at the same time, like, if they were gonna go full cartoony with that, would I be completely shocked? Nah, no. But it's just like, yeah, like there you just gotta tone back the Power Ranger like Ultraman tone that they're doing in this. Like you need to slowly build to that. Like don't just plop it on us in the fourth movie when the previous ones are trying to be more grounded. But you know, if this is the tone that we're establishing for the rest of the MonsterVerse, if the MonsterVerse continues, fine. You know, you want to be more sci-fi, you want to be more of a crowd pleaser. You don't want to hear to logic as much. Okay, let's see where it goes, and then maybe that's when we'll transition to more zany things in the MonsterVerse. Like I was expecting Jet Jaguar to come up in here and just do his thing, but it's like if this is where we're gonna go, okay. But yeah, I just don't want it to go too crazy with it. Even though that's what we grew up on. We grew up with the silly stuff and whatever, but it's like I felt like the Monsterverse really had a good sense of balancing the grounded stuff with the sci-fi and the campy stuff. But that's just me. Like how would you feel? Like are you okay with the tone that they're establishing? Do you want them to go more zany and sci-fi, or do you like them keeping the grounded nature that they had with the previous three movies? Like what do you think?
What do you think?
Is that a yes?
I am you know me. I'm all for going balls in batshit insane. I like it when I am of the minority. I want my shit to be silly and I want them to do it confidently. I
Mhm.
don't like I think the era of trying to be like of trying to be silly but also being like it's okay, we know it's silly, guys, we get it, we know we're stupid, we see we're laughing at us. No, that needs to die. That needs to die. Be stupid, be silly, be stupid, and go balls in ridiculousness. And I like going back to the Godzilla smiling. It's very reminiscent of the original because even in the original, that's when they started to incorporate a lot more wrestling motivations of of smack talking and doing big human actions. It started with King Kong versus Godzilla and went all the way through the show era. So that was pretty much that was a thing. And hell, I wouldn't have been shocked if they started talking because they actually did that in Godzilla versus Gigan. They start Godzilla and Anguirus. They just started talking.
I hated
It
that
was like,
so
"Hey,
much.
Anguirus, what do you want? Something funny's going on. You better check." Okay. Like I wouldn't have been shocked.
No,
I would have not been
I
shocked at
hated
all.
that. I hated that so much. I'm like, no, no, that's too much. No, no.
And the thing is, even in the Japanese version, they're speech bubbles. They don't. They actually have speech bubbles. So fucking
I will accept the sign language from Kong, and that's the most you can get out of it. Or if the aliens like Gigan or whatever Mogira, I don't care if they want to give them whatever, then I might be able to let that slide. But no, if we start seeing subtitles for Godzilla and Garrus or Baragon, whatever, I'm like, no, 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 don't do that. No, I
hashtag
don't like
bring
it.
Gabra to the MonsterVerse.
That's going to be tough because Toho does not own Gamera, but
I said Gabra, not Gamera.
Gabra?
Gabra.
Oh, no. No, 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 no. Please, no. Please, no. God, then you might.
No, Dwayne,
What?
bring Minya. Godzilla says I should learn to fight known battles, you know. Oh, I think this is our best podcast episode. I think this is the best podcast episode we've had.
This is gonna be the best one for sure. Then I don't want to hear anything about. I don't want to see Godzuki or Godzilla Jr. either. Because if you want that shit, you might as well put Godzuki in this. You might as well, and then have that. Then seeing the ridiculous move of Godzilla defying gravity, laying down belly first, floating, and doing a kick towards the other monsters. Like, no, like, come on now. That's where I'm like, that's too far. That's too far. Like, I don't want to get that crazy, man. But
I would love it. I would love it, but yes, it wouldn't fit this universe.
it would not. But and then, yeah, pretty soon we'll be seeing Ultraman, and we'll be seeing all the other stuff. Yeah, might as well put the Power Rangers reboot in this, and all this other shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like, be careful what you wish for. With this MONSTERVERSE, they can go so zany and crazy. But I want this MONSTERVERSE to continue, so I'm willing to see whatever they want to do. But
that's why they didn't put a post-credit sequence in this one.
I was surprised there wasn't one. And this is the shortest of the MONSTERVERSE. We haven't talked about this. Is the shortest of the MONSTERVERSE. This could have been another 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes longer. And I would have been fine with a post-credit scene. I heard there was rumors that they were possibly set up like either Mecha King Ghidorah or Destroya as the next villain. And I'm like, yes, sign me up for that, please.
Literally, me and a guy in the theater were debating where the hell do they go from next. Either it's like Space Godzilla or Destroya.
Yeah, like
speaking of space, I showed my Shay a picture of Space Godzilla. You want to know what she said?
What?
She's like, "What the hell is this?" She was like, "What the hell is this?"
I mean, yeah, it looks like Godzilla with diamonds implanted.
It's Godzilla in space.
And this weird looking antenna on his head. I'm like, yeah. Yep.
But Dwayne, I think it's time we wrap it up. We've been here for a while. I think we're at that time.
Yep, I think it's time. So overall, I'm just letting y'all know my grade is probably going to contradict all the criticisms that I have, but I don't care. Overall, I had a blast with this movie. I really enjoyed it. The fights were awesome. Godzilla and Kong, I enjoyed them a lot. Mecha Godzilla was badass. I love that they expanded on the Hollow Earth stuff, and I like the new creatures that they introduced. The humans I thought were trimmed down a lot, and it's more focused. There's a couple of characters that could have been better, but overall I felt like they were more focused with the humans. I like the human stuff still. But yeah, it's zany, it's insane, it's colorful, the effects are awesome. I personally really like the score for this movie, so I had a blast. So I think this is probably my second favorite of the MONSTERVERSE, because I think I would watch this over 2014 in Kong Skull Island. But yeah, I still can't say it's better than King of the Monsters. Like, it's almost there. It's almost there for me. But, you know, as I wish they just like fleshed out some of the story beats more, and there was some plot holes in there, which I'm like, that was kind of weird. And then there's some stuff that I felt was a bit out of character, but you know, the inner Godzilla in me is like, I don't care. I had a fun time with this movie, and I will watch it over and over again. So I will give Godzilla versus Kong an A-. Yep, that's what I'm giving it. Even though I gave a bunch of criticisms to it, I had a blast watching it. I don't care. But yeah, Nick.
Okay, so after everything is said and done, I still go by my main thing with a movie. Did I have a good time watching it? Can I get past all criticisms and nitpicks and anything aside? and just go by. I just sat down and I watched the movie. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I did. And I very much enjoyed this. Honestly, this is a good jumping on point for the MonsterVerse because there's not really a lot of baggage or like anything. Yes, some characters come back. But this actually is a good jumping on point if you want to see what the MonsterVerse is. And I could tell, and it just feels so good that this movie finally came out after delay and delay and delay, and we were all wondering, my God, is this movie? It was like Dark Phoenix it's the Dark Phoenix of the kaiju movie, except good. We were wondering, is this movie coming out? Is it coming out? It's been delayed.
Or
It's
New
like
Mutant.
New Mutants, or like Cyberpunk, constantly delayed, except actually good. I can't say that because I haven't played Cyberpunk,
I haven't
so I
played it
can't say
either,
that
but
either. But yeah, so my review, it's positive. It's a positive from here. I say highly recommend it. Check it out. Please check it out. Movie theaters or HBO Max, which is that's such a weird thing to say now. Just check it out on HBO Max.
yeah.
And now Sony's doing something like that now. Did you hear about this?
Wait, Sony's doing a streaming service? Something?
No, oh no. Sony has signed a deal with Netflix, and they're pretty much they're doing what Warner Bros. Is doing. Pretty much by 2022, they're simulcasting movies that are not simulcasting movies that come out in theaters. Right when they go out of theaters, are going right to Netflix.
What? You serious?
Yeah, it's true. Sony signed a deal with Netflix. Pretty much, they're going to be having their movies that after they come out of theaters are going right on Netflix.
Oh my God.
This is a wild time in the entertainment industry. For anyone who could say that Netflix would be the giant it is now, I don't even think anyone could say, because we would both remember when Netflix was pretty much selling DVDs in the mail. And everyone was like, this ain't gonna go anywhere. Blockbusters is here.
Look at it now. It's like pretty much like fighting to be the next big studio, practically.
And then I guess to even add insult to injury, there's a Blockbuster documentary on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yes. So there's the nail in the coffin right there. But yeah, it's just a weird time. Although this is an issue that we're having of too many streaming platforms.
Yeah, it's like coming to the point where streaming is becoming more expensive than cable because of all the services that's there. So it's like, Jesus.
So it's like it's a blessing and a curse.
Sure. But yeah, that is our thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Did you guys see it in theaters or did you guys see it on HBO Max? Comment below and let us know. Were you guys Team Kong or were you guys Team Godzilla? So thank you for joining us for this round of MonsterVerse in review. Hopefully in the near future we can return back to the MonsterVerse and talk about more of them. Sure there'll be other like Godzilla stuff outside the MonsterVerse and Kong stuff that I would want to talk about on the channel. And then yeah, I still want to do Pacific Rim in review. That'd probably be the next thing we could do or something like that. So
or review the Gamera movies.
Gamera movies.
I don't think you've ever seen them, Dwayne.
I actually haven't. So when like this whole hype of Godzilla versus Gamera, I was like, okay, who is this? This is a giant turtle? Like, okay, what's the big deal about him? But
so he has another thing to do besides review the anime trilogy.
Yeah, I have a lot to catch up on. And yeah, hopefully I can have Nick on some other reviews like DC, Marvel, whatever comes to the channel. So hopefully you'll see him again on the channel in the future. But yes, that is all we have for you Kaiju Monster fans, and we will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Stay safe.